thanks that are in the program. We had a lot of people backing us up, a lot of families that have really done it for us. We even had some students who, even though we could only take 20 to competition, have volunteered to come in to do other work, and we have many of them listed. There is somebody who we meant to get on the special thanks, and I typed it, and I don't know how I deleted it accidentally, but I was a little frazzled when I was making it. Mr. Terpstra, did he come today, man? Okay. If you see Mr. Terpstra, tell him thank you from the theater department, and see if you can figure out during the show what help he gave us. Because it should be very apparent to those of you who know Mr. Terpstra. All right, so this is your one-act play pass. And after a very eventful Thursday of a broken down bus and not having any transport to competition and all of the melee that came with that, we went to subsection competition on Thursday. And where did we place again? First! Oh, that's right, we came out first. At competition, we have 3 judges. All 3 judges rated our show first place. We're the only show that they were all on the board for 2nd through 5th, but for first, they all were in agreement that it was us. So we will be competing again this Thursday at sections. We'll be competing against one of the shows that we competed against last week, and then 2 additional shows, one from Lakeville South and one from Mankato East. We do not yet have our performance time. We should be getting that sometime tomorrow. And then that will be sent out to families, and if you're a friend of a family, you can get the information from them. We welcome as many people as can come over there and support this show at competition that would like to come. It'll be in Casa Manorville again at their theater. We just ask that when you're at competition, keep that phone in your pocket and off when we're on stage. If it comes out for you to take a picture or a videotape or anything like that during our show, we're disqualified and we're out. So please, 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 if you come to competition, keep that phone in your pocket. For your phone today, go ahead and make sure it's on silent, not just mute or vibrate, because that makes a little noise and it will throw us. We don't want that. You don't have to worry about photos, parents, because we did have a professional photographer come last night. Got scene shots of the whole show with permissions from our publishing company. All that's on above board. And those will be available to the kids to get to you. We also have a parent who graciously 2 times in a row now has been willing to come and take a video of the show, because we did buy the video archival rights to it for each of the kids to be able to use their performances towards start building like a portfolio for college scholarship applications and things like that. So you will have access to that as well, families. So you don't have to use your phone at all. You can just sit back and enjoy the show, knowing that that's all going to be made available for you. So when we go to competition, their show has to be done in 35 minutes, or again, we get disqualified. They got all these little things that get us disqualified. The other thing is that all of our stuff has to travel with us. This time we rented a U-Haul because of the bus issues, but usually we put it in the trailer pulled behind the school bus. When we get there, it has to fit in a taped-off 10-foot by 10-foot square. And then they have to start outside that square, including our technology kids who are lugging spotlights upstairs and into a balcony to set them up. We have 10 minutes to set up our entire stage, run all of our sound checks, all of our light checks, all on somebody else's stage with their technology and their equipment. So, what do you say we see if they can do it in 10 minutes today? Wait till you see what they can build in 10 minutes. Are you ready? Yes! Oh, come on, guys. Are you ready? Yes! All right, Mayo High School, your time starts now.
If the red half of the world triumphs, this religion of immortality. Great democracy is destroyed. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for the showdown between. We find ourselves in this position because of a traitorous act. I have here in my hand.
asking us?
There's a struggle going on in the world right now.
Congratulations, Rachel. There's a game on almost every night. There's a game on almost every night.
No need to be nervous.
If you start going into your graduate thesis, these girls will never come back. My dad brought home our first. I don't get it.
That's what people like me tell you. Rachel Goldstein is not your typical Leighton student.
Ask him about Lenin.
If you keep it down, I can't win the game.
Seven minutes, 43 seconds. So you don't want to look at me. You want to look at them. You want to see this show. So I'm going to get off the stage after I tell you that this is The Chips Are Down by Don Zolidis.
This is not a period of peace. This is a time of the Cold War. This is a time when all the world is split into two vast, increasingly hostile armed camps. A time of a great armaments race. Today, we are engaged in a final, all-out battle between communistic atheism and Christianity. The modern champions of communism have selected this as the time. And, ladies and gentlemen, the chips are down. They are truly down.
My dad brought home our first television in the fall of 1951. We were only the second people on our block with a set. Other kids used to peer in through the windows to watch. My dad threw potatoes at them. But by the next year, half the people on our block had one, and we ate a lot more potatoes. I was in my senior year at Leighton Prep, one of the 8 private schools in New England that claimed to be in the top 5. Everyone in my class was rich. Except me. Dad ran the cafeteria. He only took the job on the condition that his daughters could attend the school. So we did. And life was perfect. And it was October, when my perfect life fell apart.
Well, what is America? What is the idea of America? The idea has evolved and continues to as our understanding of humanity has evolved. But consider this, not only were white men the only people allowed the privilege of voting, but only landed white men, only men who owned property. Why? Why establish a democracy if you're only going to allow the rich to vote?
Are you asking us?
What have I told you about chewing gum in class?
I can't remember.
Does that jog your memory?
Still nothing.
Now you can answer the question.
What was the question?
Why were only rich white men allowed to vote?
Thank you, Jackie.
Maybe rich people were the only smart people?
Maybe they only trusted rich white men
To do what?
to make the decisions?
To make what?
I don't know.
What is the goal of a nation?
Freedom.
Is it? That's what people like me tell you their goal was.
But isn't that in the Constitution? Isn't that the goal?
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility. What does tranquility mean?
Peace?
Are you sure?
A state of peace.
Now, why would a group of wealthy white men want to create a country at a state of peace? And why would those same men dictate that they were the only ones authorized to determine the course of the country? No one else. No women, no poor men, no black men. Why would they do that?
Because they wanted to stay wealthy? For the first time in my 4 years at Layton Prep, I got called into the dean's office.
Have a seat, have a seat.
Did I do something wrong? I know I wasn't supposed to pass notes to Molly, but she has a way of convincing you to do things you know are wrong.
You didn't do anything wrong, dear. We just wanted to talk to you.
Oh,
No need to be nervous.
And what do you have to be nervous about anyway? The valedictorian of the class?
I'm not sure I am. I know Kathy Darling is still ahead of me.
Close enough.
You are close to Mr. Lawson, are you not? The new history teacher?
Oh, yes? Me and a couple of the other girls in a study group at his apartment.
Would you say you're one of his favorite students?
I guess so. What's this about?
Your school needs you. Layton Prep needs you.
You want to help us, don't you?
Help you with what?
I've heard a few distressing things about his lessons. Talking poorly about America.
Oh, well, he's just asking us to think.
I know. We love thinking. But there's a fine line between thinking and questioning for no reason.
Mrs. Turnbull, if you'll allow me. We want you to keep your eyes and ears open, all right?
All right.
There's a struggle going on in the world right now.
What does that have to do with history class?
We have reason to believe that Mr. Lawson might not be who he appears to be.
And we need your help to find out exactly who he is.
Who do you think he is?
Well, we think he's a communist.
Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party?
There were 4 of us that met with Mr. Lawson. Usually we would meet in the library, but sometimes we'd go to his faculty apartment. He lived in one of the dorms with his wife. But the more I've thought about it, was this how they indoctrinated you? Was this his plan all along?
Can there be anyone tonight who is so blind as to say the war is not on?
I fully believe you have the chance to go to college. Any college you'd like. You're all bright, you're all dedicated. If we work together, there's nothing you can't do. Do you want to be a scientist? Do you want to be a scholar?
I just want to get married before I'm 21. I'm never getting married.
I thought you had a boyfriend.
Yeah, so believe me, he's temporary.
Marriage can be a good thing.
Can be.
I mean, it is definitely a good thing.
Hello, dear. Bringing your work home?
Just trying to change the world.
Don't try too hard.
I'll get out of your hair. Only listen to half of what he says, girls. The other half is hot air.
You love my hot air.
Half the time.
Sorry, where was I?
You were explaining why marriage is a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea. I just see too many girls come through here and rush into marriage with the first boy they meet. They haven't even figured out who they are yet or what they want. And they're looking for a life that doesn't require them to think.
I think that's what my father wants.
Think for yourself. And think about yourself. What do you want? Where do you want to go? What about you, Rachel?
What about me?
Do you want to go to college?
Nobody in my family's ever been to college.
Maybe that should change.
I don't know what I would study.
Think about what you want to learn. History is not a study of what happened. History is a study of why things happen. It's easy enough to say a war started. A revolution overthrew the king. A people were enslaved. No, but if you want to learn, you need to learn why those things happened. That's not a matter of memorizing dates. That's a matter of using your brain.
If you start going into your graduate thesis, these girls will never come back. How did you two meet? Prison.
It was not prison, Tilly. I was working with some farmers in Kansas.
And my father was one of the farmers.
Did you fall in love right away?
Well,
You did! I knew it! He was opposed to marriage, but you fell in love at first sight!
Why?
Thank you, Molly.
I thought he was just fantastic. I'd never met a man like him before, a reader. Everywhere he went, he carried these huge books with him. And that diary, every day, writing little notes in his diary.
It was not a diary.
Carrying them around in the middle of Kansas. I asked him if he was going to open a library, and he said, well, where is the library? And I said, 200 miles down that road.
We are now engaged in a showdown fight. Not the usual war between nations, but a war between two diametrically opposed ideologies.
I don't believe it.
It makes sense, Molly.
He's not a communist. I know communists. If you think he's a communist, just ask him. You can't just ask.
Girls! I have to remind you what we're talking about here is confidential. I must insist on absolute secrecy. Nothing we say goes outside of this room.
I don't think I believe it either.
See?
I don't believe in witch hunts. I don't believe in trials without evidence. I believe a man is innocent until proven guilty. Mr. Lawson is a good teacher.
I'm not certain.
Mrs. Turnbull. I've heard very positive things about you, but as you know, we cannot have a communist on faculty at Lady, teaching history, infecting your minds, indoctrinating children.
I don't think we're being indoctrinated.
People who are being indoctrinated never think they're being indoctrinated.
I don't even know what indoctrinated means, but I'm pretty sure it's not happening.
Brainwashed. Nobody's being brainwashed.
That's what he wants you to think, of course, but consider his lessons. Is he being anti-American? What are you being asked to question?
A poisonous teacher can corrupt a lot of minds. He can upset the whole order of things.
Well, maybe the order of things needs to be upset.
It's that kind of thinking that concerns me.
I didn't mean it like that.
I know what you meant.
What do you want from us?
Your help.
We require proof. I want you to get that proof.
You want us to rat him out?
I want you to investigate. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
But if he is a communist,
We need to know.
then you need to tell us.
This is ridiculous.
I'm not doing it.
You want us to be spies?
I want you to find out the truth.
There's no way to prove that he could
Miss
possibly.
Goldstein, you applied to Radcliffe, did you not?
Yes?
I'm good friends with the director of admissions there. Word from me, either positive or negative.
She's valedictorian of the entire.
And that won't matter one bit if I give the word. You get my meaning? You could have a scholarship or be rejected. It goes for all of you now. We're enlisting your help. We're not asking for it. Miss Goldstein, if you have any reservations, perhaps you should ask your father.
If the red half of the world triumphs, this religion of immoralism will deeply wound mankind.
Oh, I don't get it. This is stupid. Mom! I can't help you, honey. Can't help me because it's stupid. Your sister can help you when she gets home.
You keep it down, I can't do the game.
There's a game on almost every night.
And I can't hear it almost every night because there's too much noise.
I don't understand why I have to do algebra anyway.
You gotta do algebra because they tell you to do algebra. Period. Get over it. Now shut up about it so I can listen to the game.
You don't do algebra.
I got 5 cooks under me that can't do algebra neither. You want their job?
I'm not getting the job anyway.
You can get a job if you want.
I don't want to, but I have to use algebra.
I'm a husband that can do algebra. He'll do it for me.
If you do your own algebra, you won't need a husband.
Would you stop with that?
Can you do this for me? If I did it for you, then you wouldn't learn it. I know!
That's what I want!
All right, shut up! Both of you. The game is on.
Wash up for dinner, hon. We're not eating in the dining hall tonight. I'm cooking tonight.
Great! Was that sarcasm?
Hold on. Don't tell me to hold on. Wash up. Hold on. Honestly. Dad, can I talk to you for a second?
I want to get some peace and you want to talk? Fine. Can't listen to it anyway. I don't know why they start dancing. He's a bum. You're a bum.
He can't hear you through the television.
No, he hears me. He gets it through mental waves.
There's no such thing as mental waves.
Sure there are. I'm sending them out right now. You sneak. You're a bum. I hope you drown in the harbor.
Down!
Next thing I know, he'll throw a perfect game and I'll lie. All right. What is it?
I'm worried about the future.
What are you worried about? You're one of the smartest people I know. I don't know where you came from.
Yeah, but
You're gonna do great in college. Didn't that teacher say they're gonna get you a scholarship?
they're going to try.
You know, when I took this job, I told them, I'll only do it if you let my girls go to school here. In fact, the tuition in this place is more than my salary, but they agreed to it. So it was good, right?
Right.
Is that all that's on your mind?
No,
Do you want to tell me about it?
I don't think I can. So I watched Mr. Lawson. I looked for any sign that he was what they said he was. How do you figure out what someone is feeling? How do you look inside someone and did it really matter if he was a communist?
Are you now, or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
That's enough for today. Remember that your papers on the New Deal are due on Thursday.
You said Friday.
I did not say Friday, I said Thursday. 5 pages, and I do want them typed.
What if it's true?
It can't be true.
You don't know that. Maybe they have information.
If they had information, they wouldn't need us.
You're the one to do it, Rachel.
What are you talking about?
Get him talking. He loves talking to you.
He does.
No, you can just say, so I've been reading about Karl Marx and he sounds keen.
I'm not saying that.
Well, ask him about Lenin.
Why would I ask him about Lenin?
Say it's a history project.
I don't even think he's a communist.
We're fighting a war with them. My brother is in Korea.
I know! I just don't think he's one of them.
He's probably receiving instructions from the Soviet Union.
Why? Why would the Soviet Union care what happens at a private school in New Hampshire?
Training us.
For what?
We could be spies, double agents.
I do it.
Molly!
Wear trench coats, smoke a really long cigarette. Come on, it'd be fantastic. City center spy.
You are the worst.
Come with me to Mother Russia. We have ways of making you talk.
You're the communist.
I could be persuaded.
My brother is in Korea.
Korea. Yes, we heard you. And I'm not seducing your brother who looks like a porcupine.
He does not!
What do you say, Rachel?
What do you think I should do?
A great democracy is destroyed. It will not be from enemies without, but rather because of enemies from within.
Here you go.
Our typewriter broke last week and we don't have the money to fix it.
I completely understand. Not to worry.
Thank you so much.
I finished your recommendation letter, by the way. I can read it to you if you'd like.
I'm sure it's embarrassing.
Not at all. Rachel Goldstein is not your typical Latham student. Certainly she exemplifies the best qualities of a latent girl. Bright, curious, independent. But she doesn't have the good fortune to come from a privileged background. And it has forged in her a sense...
Mr. Lawson,
Yes?
I don't want to hear it.
Right. It goes on like that for a while, you know. And it's all true.
Thank you.
I'll get out of your way. I've got some papers to grade, so...
Sure. I was thinking of taking some time off after school. Actually,
Really?
to help people.
Oh,
You went to Kansas, right? In the Depression?
I did, but that was after I got my degree.
Did you go there by yourself, or were you told to go there?
Was I told to go there?
Yes.
What do you mean?
I just mean, if there was an organization that sent you, I was thinking maybe I could join that organization?
I got a grant from a farm program. They used to send people around to teach in rural communities.
Right. Oh, sorry.
That's all right. You do your paper.
But were you ever part of any organizations that helped people?
I did a lot of things.
Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party?
He's not going to come out and say it.
Say you want to join the communists.
It was a government grant. That's why he was
It
there.
wasn't a government grant. Don't be naive.
There's no way to prove that it
His
wasn't.
wife said he kept a diary.
So?
So, the proof will be in there.
Dear diary, today I became a communist.
Nobody would write that
Well,
down.
in the 30s they might. He probably didn't think it was a big deal. We just have to find that book and see what's in it.
I'm sure he doesn't still have this diary.
It's when he met his wife. He still got it, I'm sure of it.
What would it even look like?
It'll say diary on it. Big letters. Molly, are you trying to be stupid? It won't have any writing on it. There will probably be a bunch of them next to each other. All you need is a little while to search his apartment.
Me?
He lets you in there to write your paper. Say you're working through dinner. You'll come to formal dinner Wednesday night. You can look through the diary then.
All right. But if there's no evidence in there, we go to administration and tell them.
Fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for the showdown between the democratic world and the communistic world.
The night of the formal dinner, I told my father I wasn't feeling well. At the same time, I told Mr. Lawson I needed to keep working on my essay. It was easy enough to lie. He trusted me. And I trusted him. There was no way this man was a part of a conspiracy. It had to be a lie. Then I found it. A diary. December 2nd, 1932, Washburn, Kansas. I'm more convinced than ever that the work I'm doing is vital and I made the right choice to. January 27th, the conditions for revolution are not as ripe as I might like. Even though these people are dirt poor, they are blind to the systems that keep them in poverty. March 19th, 1933. When I joined the Workers' Party, I never thought that. April 29th. The rural poor of America can never be convinced that capitalism itself is the root of all their problems. Tilly is unlike any girl I've ever met. She's brilliant, she's beautiful, she's... Communism is the only answer for America? I took the diary. I didn't know what else to do. Here was the proof. Enough to get him fired. Enough to destroy his life.
We find ourselves in this position because of the traitorous actions of those who have been treated well by this nation.
Congratulations. What's going on?
The letter came today. Radcliffe, you got in. That's practically Harvard.
It is Harvard.
It's Harvard for girls. It's not the same.
I don't care if it's Harvard for dogs. It's incredible.
Congratulations, Rachel. This is brilliant.
Did you get in?
Of course I got in. I'm third generation.
It's great. You were great.
First person in our family to go to college.
And Harvard for girls.
It's close enough. Hey, come here. Give me a hug. I'm proud of you, all right? Bursting.
Thanks.
You all right? This is great.
I know. She's overwhelmed, Ira. Leave her alone.
You could be a professor or something. Imagine that. Woman professor.
Or she could marry a professor.
Anything. The sky's the limit.
Just make sure you do get married, though. If you get too smart, boys won't like you.
Hey, none of that. If you get too smart, stupid boys won't like you. And I'm okay with that.
Me too.
I hope I'm not getting too smart. Don't worry about it.
Can I talk to Dot for a second?
Did you find it?
I have here in my hand a list of names that were made known as being members of the Communist Party.
I didn't expect to see you today. If you need to use the typewriter,
That's not why I'm here.
Is there something wrong?
They think you're a communist. Mr. Brown, Miss Turnbull, they want to fire you.
That's absurd.
Is it true?
Of course it's not true. They're simply uncomfortable with people questioning the status quo. They want me to give you book history, a list of dates. In 1492, Columbus discovered America. In 1620, the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock. That's all they believe history to be. But I don't. I think you should be required to think deeper than that. They think thinking itself is somehow anti-American. It's not. The founding fathers were thinkers. They were philosophers. They thought deeply about the problems of their day.
Just not about poverty.
People change. Countries change. We are better than we used to be. I hope in the future we can be better than we are now.
So you're not a communist?
No. Of course not. No.
Have you ever been a communist?
No.
You're my favorite teacher, you know. I mean, it's stupid. I was thinking I'd like to teach history someday. Do what you do. Help people. And then I found this. And I see what you wrote.
Why did you take that?
Communism is the only answer for America. You wrote that.
When I was 24!
Do you still believe that?
Let me ask you something. From what you know, did I have the right to believe this?
They find out what you wrote.
Did I have the right to believe this?
It makes you a traitor.
People want you to believe them. There are people in this government that want you to believe that. Do you? Is that what this country is? There's only one way to think? If you think I deserve to be fired for my juvenile beliefs, then go ahead. Give them the diary.
Are you now, or have you ever been, a member of the Communist Party?
I thought you said Rachel had something for us.
She does.
So far, the investigation has turned out very little.
Maybe you people are the communists.
Miss Johnson, that is not amusing.
Miss Goldstein, tardiness is becoming a bit of a habit with you.
There's a lot going on.
I'm sure we all have things to get to, and I'd rather not listen to Miss Johnson any longer than I have to. Could you please sit up? It's been a month and I assume you have information for us?
Yes.
And what did you discover?
Miss Goldstein.
Tell them, Rachel.
I didn't find anything.
Did you find the diary?
No.
What's this about a diary?
Rachel was going to take one, steal one.
And did you?
Yes.
And
there was nothing in it about communism. He's not a communist.
Well, I guess that's that. I gotta go.
Sit down. Like a lady, please.
nothing in the diary.
No,
Can I have this diary?
I don't have it anymore.
And put it back. So if I asked Mr. Lawson to turn over his diaries, I'd find nothing about communism.
No, sir.
Speak up.
No, ma'am.
And what about you, Miss Walker? You're very quiet.
I didn't see anything.
You were accepted to Radcliffe, were you not?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who permitted that to happen? May I remind you, you're either with us or against us. You're with the United States or the Soviet Union. And I'll ask you again, is Rachel telling the truth? Did she say something to you?
A charismatic teacher can make someone lively. Is that what's going on? You can tell us, Dorothy.
You know, if you know about a crime and don't say anything, you are just as guilty as the criminal.
You do want to go to Radcliffe, don't you?
I'll say one more thing. We already know the truth about Mr. Lawson. We've known it for quite some time now, actually. We're just asking you to confirm with us what we already know. Are you going to be truthful with us or not?
She found something in the diary.
Don't!
Quiet!
Don't tell
That's
them!
enough, Miss Goldstein.
She said he was a communist. She said he wrote it down.
That's a lie!
You told me that what it said. Why are you defending him?
It's not a crime,
He's
John!
a communist. You said it.
I'm going to need that diary.
I don't have it!
Miss Goldstein, in front of witnesses, you have told us you've stolen a teacher's property. That's a violation of our honor code. It comes for immediate expulsion from the school.
You told me to!
To no such thing. No one told you to steal.
But
I'm going to need that diary or you will be expelled.
Just give it to them.
And I'm afraid your admission to Radcliffe is in serious jeopardy.
I don't care! I'm not going to
Your father manages the dining hall, does he not? Do you think it will be difficult for the school to find a new dining hall manager?
Jeez, Rachel, just give them the ball! Why are you defending a communist? Because it's not right! What they're doing!
Think of yourself.
Think of your father.
You can't just condemn a person because of their beliefs!
So you admit that you know Mr. Lawson is a communist?
He is not a communist!
Consider your future. Consider your family. Your sister will be forced to leave the school. Your family will no longer be able to stay in faculty housing.
Come on, Rachel.
I don't know anything!
Excuse me. I couldn't.
Your presence is not required, Mr. Lawson.
I heard what you were saying, and I.
Go back to class, please.
Rachel didn't steal my diary. I gave it to her. She needed it for a project on the Dust Bowl.
Mr. Lawson,
I gave it to her. And yes, I was a communist. I am no longer one, but I was a member of the party once.
You'll understand that you cannot remain employed at Layton.
I understand what you're doing.
I'll expect your resignation in the morning.
I'm not resigning.
Then you're fired! You'll be out of the faculty apartment by the end of the week!
I wanted to say, I'm sorry,
Not your fault.
but if I hadn't
It's
told
not your fault. They use people to get what they need. They used you. They knew you couldn't fight because of your father. Are they letting you stay?
Yeah,
And you're still going to Radcliffe? Good.
where will you go?
I'll find a place. They need good teachers everywhere.
Yeah, they do. back up. All the memories he had of being at Layton, the pictures of former students, and he told me about the ones who had gone on to impressive things. The girls who had gone to college, the letters they sent him, the families they were raising. And I thought about how one person could change so many lives. And maybe that's the best thing I could do. And maybe that's what I would do with the rest of my life.
They have their own tradition. I would like all the seniors to step up to the line. This is our seniors' last one-act performance on our home stage. It's not our last performance. So we do want to honor each of them. I want to draw attention to Lily Adams. Lily is not actually one of our 20 traveling people. When people started getting sick, Lily stepped up, volunteered to learn every female part in the show. So that if anybody gets ill, we have costumes for Lily for every female part. So she's put in a ton of work and deserves a huge round of applause. And making way down the line, Miss Leah Dow, who amazes me more and more every show I work with her in, and who is going to go on and do amazing things if I let her actually be here. Weren't those costumes, the skirts, weren't they amazing? Yeah. This woman made them. She made several of our costume items. Even today, she was at Savers this morning because shoes started falling apart. So, Katerina, you know I'm going to be having you on speed dial. All right, Brooklyn, how did I ever do this without you? I have no idea. This is Brooklyn's first year stepping in as our stage manager, and literally she and Meg run this show. I have not run this show for weeks. I hand it off, I stand in the audience, sit in the audience, and I take notes, and I tell them what I think. And they literally run every minute at competition. I barely even go into the team room. That's all them. So good job, Brooklyn. Speaking of costumes, speaking of makeup, I don't know how many of you saw A Human Right last year. This amazing human has designed costumes for both of those shows. Like actual mock-up designs, like good enough for any theater company. She hands those designs to Katerina, they talk about them, and Katerina starts putting them into life. And then Bela also designs every single makeup we do in our shows. And she does all of it, she looks up all the hairstyles. She does it without a single bit of help from me. Her knowledge of dramaturgy is beyond. And this lady is going to be a director someday. I've already told Sid that I have no intention of letting this school graduate her, or them. Because Sid and I have been together for entire 4 years of high school. Sid stepped in and was in part of the first one-act freshman year with 0 lines. She got, no, you did get a line by the end. She had one line. It was like, here's the report, or something like that. Every year has stepped up, and aren't they an amazing actor? Like, they take your breath away, and you amaze me, you motivate me. Going to be going to Courtney Wynn. She also is not part of our formal company, but when we decided to buy a vintage television, and literally Aaron and Courtney gutted entire old tube television, kept just the casing, and rebuilt it to be what it is for our show. Courtney's like, yeah, I'll show up even though I don't get to do any of the, get any of the accolades. So we do also have a rose for Courtney that I'm gonna ask you to take to her at choir today. All right, thank you all for coming. They'll be out in just a moment to say their hellos. And then before you leave, we are resetting the box because Mr. Cole needs the space tomorrow. All right? All right, hear it one more time, please.